I just wanted to mention at the start here, we do actually have a Discord, so if you're interested in that, a link will be in the description. Today, we're going to be talking about some of the older Iron Banner weapons from Destiny 1. Aphrodite's Spear was a pretty good all-round PvP Iron Banner sniper rifle. Next up, we've got Radagast's Fury, and this made me realise how strong rocket launchers actually were in PvP. There was a perk called Grenades and Horseshoes, and this would allow your rockets to detonate early based on the proximity of the target, which made rocket launchers really strong. Then we've got the Iron Banner hand cannon Timur's Lash, and this could roll with the Destiny 1 equivalent of Kill Clip, which was called Reactive Reloader. Finally, I know a lot of people liked this weapon, we've got the Scory's Revenge. Now this was the Iron Banner Pulse Rifle. I apologise in advance if I do butcher any of the names of these weapons. Gillian's Demise was the Iron Banner Scout Rifle, and this could roll with some pretty cool perks. Next up, we've got Silimar's Wrath. This was a high rate of fire legendary auto rifle, and it was actually pretty good in the Crucible just because auto rifles were quite strong when these weapons were available. Then we've got the Iron Reef D sidearm. So when this thing first came out, sidearms were still a fairly new weapon archetype, but I still had fun pairing this with a sniper. Then finally, at the end here, we've got the Yolda's Hammer Heavy Machine Gun. Haven't really got much to say about this one, standard machine gun, pretty good bit of kit. Anyway, thank you for watching and goodbye. Today we're going to be talking about some weapons from the original Prison of Elders. It's worth mentioning at the start here, the Fallen themed weapons on this list could actually get random bonuses towards fallen enemies. Starting off, we have a legendary hand cannon called the Six Dreg Pride. Next up, we have an auto rifle called the Wolf Slayer's Claw. It's actually quite refreshing to look at a unique design of weapon, as I've been going over Year 1 Destiny 1 weapons and a lot of them are just reskins, so this is actually pretty cool design here. Then we have a sniper rifle called Shadow of the Veils. Occasionally Variks would sell this item and you could also get it as a reward from Prison of Elders. Finally, we have this sort of Queen's themed scout rifle, and you could actually get it from a quest, and it would also drop from the Prison of Elders. This was a pretty average scout rifle, but it can actually roll with a perk called Replenish. This would refill the magazine whenever you casted your super. Anyway, thank you for watching and goodbye. Welcome back. Today we're going to be covering some Destiny 1 legendary Vanguard weapons. The Comedian was a shotgun that could actually roll with shot package. This would reduce the spread of your projectiles after aiming the weapon. Next up, we have a really fun sniper called the LDR. Now I know a lot of people wanted to see this thing, so here it is. What makes this weapon good is it actually has a really nice perk pool. You could get snapshot, you could get unflinching, and you could also get a short gaze scope on this weapon, meaning it was very fun in PvP. Time on Target is a legendary pulse rifle that was added in the Dark Below expansion. Nothing too special here, but it does have quite a nice perk pool. Finally, we've got the Devil You Know, not to be confused with the Devil You Don't. This hand cannon was actually pretty fun, and it could roll with some fun perks like Look in the Chamber and also explosive rounds. But apart from that guys, I've just made a Twitter, so that's going to be in the description, but thank you for watching and goodbye. Welcome back. Today we're going to be covering some Year 3 Iron Banner weapons. There's a lot of highly requested weapons on this list. First up, we've got the Clever Dragon. Now this was absolutely phenomenal in PvP and probably one of my favourite pulse rifles in the game. To mention a few perks on this weapon, you could get Headseeker, Rangefinder, Snapshot, Unflinching, basically all of the fan favourite perks here. Next up, we've got the Branded Lord Fusion Rifle. I do just want to mention here, you could get these weapons from other sources, they didn't just come from Iron Banner. For example, you could actually get them from just playing Rise of Iron activities. Moving on, we've got the Laughing Heart Sniper Rifle. Again, I love the designs of these weapons and this thing is no exception. Moving on, we have the Unbent Tree Auto Rifle. Now this thing looks like it doubles up as also some sort of axe, so missed opportunity for a melee weapon there, Bungie. To be fair, it would be cool if you could melee with weapons, like think about Monte Carlo and Red Death. Finally, we've got the Proud Spire Shotgun. Not quite a Fell Winters, but still a good bit of kit. Anyway, thank you for watching and goodbye. Today we're going to be covering some Vanguard weapons, and I really want to know who named these weapons, and I also really hope it was the same person. Not like the others was a kinetic scout rifle, and ironically it actually had a mediocre perk pool, but I will give it some credit because it could roll with bonuses against certain enemies. Next up we have the Unfriendly Giant, and this thing could roll with tracking, and it could also be sold by the Vanguard Quartermaster. Moving on, we have the Up for Anything, and just like the name suggests, this is a pretty well-rounded auto rifle. Finally, we have a Vanguard Rise of Iron sniper rifle called the Seventh Sense. The name of this weapon could be a reference to a couple of things. Obviously, we have the movie The Sixth Sense by M. Night Shyamalan, but it could also be something to do with Bungie's obsession with sevens.
Seventh day, seventh month, 7th column.
Some honourable mentions for weapons that I like the names of that aren't actually legendary are the Heaven Can Wait hand cannon and also the Big Rig XXL rocket launcher. No idea how they got away with that one. Anyway guys, thank you for watching and goodbye. Right, we're going to cover some more Vanguard weapons. First up, we have the Payback SOS. This was your typical legendary Vanguard auto rifle. Also, let me know in the comments if you recognise this mission on screen. Next up, we have the Secret Handshake. This was a shotgun that came out in the Dark Below, and a lot of players love this weapon, and it's actually really good in PvP. Then, we've got the Light/Beware Fusion Rifle, and I had no idea you can actually get skip rounds to roll on fusion rifles. This would allow your bullets to ricochet off surfaces, but you could get it on this fusion rifle, so I assume you would actually have your fusion rifle bolt bounce around corners a little bit like the hard light, so that's pretty cool. Finally, at the end here, we've got another kinetic auto rifle, this time the Dr. Nope. So this weapon could actually roll with 10 different sights, which is pretty cool in itself, but it also has a pretty nice perk pool. Some highlights that you may not recognise are reactive reload, spray and pray, and also single point sling. Anyway, big thank you to everyone who's followed me on Twitter, and also the people who've joined my Discord. One last thing, I don't know how many of you are following the Vendor Hunger Games, but if you go to the community tab on my channel, you can go and vote in that. Welcome back. Today we're going to be talking about some highly requested Crucible weapons. The last extremity was an Omolon legendary scout rifle. Also, scout rifles were really fun in combined arms. Next up we have the
Cowboy one.
Right, so this weapon could roll with a pretty cool perk called Army of One. Quick, unassisted kills with the weapon would reduce your grenade and melee cooldown. Then we have a fan favourite, the Hacksaw. This Soros Crucible pulse rifle was phenomenal in PvP. Now obviously this thing could roll with some great perks, and it's also worth noting you could actually buy it from the Crucible Quartermaster. Next up we've got the Havoc Pigeon sidearm. Just by looking at the weapon you can notice it has a suppressor. Now in my opinion this has always been a missed opportunity by Bungo. I think it would be so cool to have some sort of stealth perk built around suppressors. Just think about column 2 perks. Ricochet rounds and high caliber rounds are normally your best pick, and I think it would be nice to have some more variation. With that being said, thank you for all the support on my every single strike in Destiny video. That did take a while, but it's had a really nice reception and I really appreciate you guys for that, so thank you so much and goodbye. Welcome back. Today we're going to be covering some more Crucible weapons. Starting off we have the Byronic Hero. This kinetic hand cannon was actually pretty good, and it could roll with some fun perks like Look in the Chamber, Mulligan, and also reactive reload. Next up we have a kinetic auto rifle called the Do-Gooder 5. A cool thing about this weapon, and also a lot of weapons in Destiny 1, was you could actually roll with so many different sights. This weapon specifically could actually roll with 10 different sights. Moving on, we have a Deal Breaker auto rifle, and this could actually roll with a pretty cool perk called Relentless Tracker. This would allow kills with the weapon to grant you an enhanced motion tracker. Finally, at the end here, we have the Ruin Wake heavy machine gun. This thing could roll with essentially the Destiny 1 version of Rampage. Crowd control allowed kills with the weapon to grant you bonus damage for a short time. With all of that being said, thank you for watching. Welcome back to the channel. At the start here, I just want to say we're really close to 10k, so any subscriptions are really appreciated. Without further ado, the Soros PDX 45 was a legendary pulse rifle. There was a time when this thing was amazing in PvP, and it could also roll with a pretty interesting perk. So essentially, Secret Round would allow missing a shot from this weapon's burst to fire a 4th shot. Next up we have a legendary hand cannon called Lord High Fixer. A couple of people have requested this weapon, and I actually used to be a big fan of it. I think I had a roll with Look in the Chamber. Moving on, we have what some people may consider the best pulse rifle from Destiny 1, the Grasp of Malok. This weapon had great base stats, and it could also roll with some amazing perks like Outlaw, Headseeker, and Rangefinder. You actually got this weapon from the Will of Crota strike, and if you're more interested on strikes, I actually have a video on the channel which covers every single strike in Destiny 1. Finally, we have the legendary auto rifle, the Grim Citizen. With that being said, I just want to say thank you for all the support on the channel. It's actually insane, we're nearly at 10k already.